What you see in front of you is exactly how I'm going to show you how myself as a 24-year-old college dropout, I'm up over $18,000 in the last week. Now, before anything, I'm going to show you why you should believe me. You can see it right here. Currently, I'm in this trade on gold. I'm down $1,800. Full transparency, I don't care. In trading, you're going to win or you're going to lose. But this month, I'm up over $18,000. You guys don't believe me that this is true? Then I can refresh it. Refreshing. Is it going to be the same amount? Yes or no? There you go. Close profit. Net profit $18,000. Of course, I've had some losses. I was up over $23,000. Now that we got the proof out of the way, let me show you in under 6 to 8 minutes with 3 small steps how you can replicate the same strategy in your day-to-day trading. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the video, I want to remind you that every single video I'm going to be giving away $300, $100 to 3 different people, 3 of you. So make sure to hit the like, hit the subscription, leave a comment, take a screenshot, and then DM it to me on Instagram. My Instagram is going to be linked in the description. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. So 3 small steps, boys. In a nutshell, what we're going to be going over is how to create bias, how to enter in the lower time frames, and the third step is not really a step. It's kind of just like a gift from me to you, but it's going to be me giving you access to my free indicator. Not only that, you also get access to my course, which is completely free. So you can learn this more in depth without, like it being like just 10 minutes. It's over 5 hours long. But yeah, let's get right into step number 1, which is going to be finding our daily bias. So basically what this is going to do is by us combining higher time frames, in this case, the daily and the 4 hour, we're going to decide if we're going to be looking for buys or for sells in our lower time frames. How we're going to do that is exactly like this. So we're going to use the daily and the 4 hour. What we want them to be doing is the exact same thing. They're both bearish. Then we're going to be looking for sells in the lower time frames. And the way to establish if they're both bullish or bearish is exactly like this. It's if they're making higher highs and higher lows. So the market is creating higher highs, which in this case, you guys can see we have a high, a low, and then we have a higher high than the previous one, and so on and so forth. Then you can see that in this case, the daily time frame is going to be bullish. When we step into the 4 hour, if we don't see the exact same thing, meaning higher and higher lows, then for that day, we're most likely not going to be able to get a trade for that pair. Of course, for other pairs, if the higher time frames are aligned, then we can get a trade. But for this, in that scenario, we wouldn't get a trade. Now in the 4 hour, what can we see? We can clearly see that we had a high, a low. Right after that, we get a new high and a new low, which are higher than previous ones. Right after that, we get a new high, a new low, higher than the previous ones, and so on and so forth. You guys can see the latest break, which is right here, creates a higher high and a higher low, higher than the previous ones. So in this case, this pair would be completely bullish for our daily buyers. So when we step down to the 1 minute, in my case, I'd be looking for buys. Now that we got that out of the way, let me show you another example. So in this case scenario right here, we got the daily making lower lows and lower highs. How do we know that? It's because we have this high, this low. The next high and the next low are lower than the previous ones, and so on and so forth. And you guys can see the latest break or the latest low and high created are lower than previous ones. So in this case, the daily would be bearish. Now, when we step into the 4 hour and we start looking at it, we're going to be looking for the exact same thing, meaning that we want price to be creating lower lows and lower highs. If it's creating higher highs and higher lows, then what are we going to do, guys? Nothing, because they're not aligned. They're not doing the exact same thing. The bias is not 100% clear. Now, here we are in the 4 hour, and what can we see? And the high and low created right after that are higher than the previous ones, and the latest one is higher than the previous one. So it's creating higher highs and higher lows. So in this case, we're not going to do anything. Why? Because they're not aligned. So what we'd be waiting for is, in this case, for the 4 hour to start breaking down, creating. Now, before we get to step number 2, we're gonna need to do the indicator access, because you guys need the indicator, which is completely free, to be able to trade exactly the way I do. Now, this indicator is not like a money glitch that shows you where to buy, where to sell, where the price is going to go. No, it's literally just showing you breaks of predicted highs and predicted lows with a certain amount of rules, where it exactly shows you how I see the market, the way that I've implemented my trading concepts and created them, so that you guys don't have to go ahead and go through the pain that I had to go through before having the indicator. This just does it automatically for you. And to claim access to the indicator, guys, yes, it's completely free. All you got to do is head over to the first link in the description. It does say to claim access to the indicator in the free course. Now you tap onto that, you make a WAP account, you just sign up. It's free. It doesn't even ask for your information. not your name, not your phone number, nothing. You just sign up. And once you're inside of my WAP, you can head over to this channel right here called Indicator Access. Once you're in the channel, it's gonna prompt you to put your TradingView username. You're gonna put it there, and then you're gonna tap on Claim Indicators. After you've done that, you have access. It's completely free, and your chart should look exactly like mine. Now, guys, for step number 2, this is gonna be the easiest way that I can explain it to you. You guys can see so far that I explain my strategy super simple. It's just breaks, high highs and higher lows. That's it, breaks and ranges. Now the first thing that we're gonna be looking for a confirmation is going to be head over to the 1 minute, right? Now what I do is I want for price to start breaking up. Why breaking up? Because as you guys saw in step number 1, our daily bias is bullish. Now, of course, if our daily bias was bearish, then we'd be looking for bearish structure to start happening in the 1 minute. But because our daily bias is bullish, then we want price to start breaking up, creating higher highs. So in this case, we had this high, this low. Now, because of this break of the previous predicted high, then our current range now is from this higher high in this higher low, and that's it. That's the first thing that I want to start happening in the 1 minute for me to enter. Second thing that I want is for price to come back into our range. What's the range? It's from the current high and the current low. Current high, current low, that's the range right here. Now, because price came back, that lets us go into the next step. Now it's setting up our orders. Now I'm gonna be using a stop order, not because I like it better, not because of some random stuff. No, guys, it's because I want to see momentum, right? I want price to shoot up. So after it comes back into our range, I'm gonna put my stop order right where the protected high is and my stop loss where the protected low is. And I want price to start shooting up, showing me momentum. If it doesn't, it just goes sideways, then that's probably just gonna be a loss or a break even if I was just to market enter. Or of course, if price starts just shooting down, then that'd be an immediate loss. That's why I've seen that 90% of the time, if I just wait for momentum by using a stop order, I'm gonna end up either having a break even, which in my books, it's basically a win or a win. And which leads me to step number 3, or the last slide kinda, which is taking profit and going break even. Now, to take profit, we're gonna be targeting at least a 1 to 2, if not a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, but at least a 1 to 2. It depends on you guys, on what you've back tested. Second of all, to go break even, I want there to be a new predicted high, a new predicted low created outside of my entry line. So here is my entry line right here. There was a new high created here, but the low was inside of my entry, so that didn't count. And I didn't go break even up until there was a new high and a new low, basically a new range created outside of my entry. And that's the full strategy, guys. There is nothing else. Now, for more examples, you guys are gonna see somewhere here on the screen a whole playlist breaking down all of my trades. I break it, doesn't matter if it's a loss, if it's a win, I break it down and I post it to you guys every single day. So don't forget to head over to this playlist to watch every single example. And of course, don't forget about the giveaway. So make sure you like, you subscribe, you comment, and you DM me proof, because next video I'm gonna be showing you guys exactly who won. And as always, thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.